Welcome to the Bite Size Brilliance Podcast. I'm your host, April Darley, and today I want to talk about joyful reinvention and cupcakes. So, my close friends know this, but I love cake. It's one of my favorite foods. And once upon a time, I had a podcaster ask me what was my favorite cake. And that was really hard to answer because I love all cake equally. But if you really pressed me on the issue, I'd probably say lemon. I'll choose lemon cake often when I'm unsure about the cake options, right? Lemon's usually a winner. But all cake is a winner in my eyes. And I was recently listening to a podcast where the queen of cake, Candace Nelson, the Sprinkles Cupcake founder, was interviewed. And she talked a lot about women in business, entrepreneurship, innovation, and how she took something so simple, the birthday party staple of the world, cupcakes, and made it into a luxury brand. I mean, you can see how Starbucks did this with coffee. Candace did this with cupcakes, right? And it reminds me of Payless Shoes did a social experiment where they opened this pop-up store and they changed the name to Paylessy and invited all these influencers in to look at the shoes. And they were all oohing and awing, talking about how great the quality was. And these shoes were priced at 400 to like $1,000 a pair. And these influencers were like, of course, I would pay $600 for this pair of top quality, beautiful shoes. And then they got let in on the experiment that these were actually Payless shoes. Right? So it really goes to show you that if you believe in something and if you are dedicated to innovation, elevation, and reinvention, that you can take absolutely anything, including yourself, and reinvent it in however way you want. Isn't that exciting? Right? So if you are sitting here listening to this right now and wishing something was different, ask yourself why. Why are you having these thoughts and feelings? Is there some area that you would like to be different? Is it your hair, your clothes, your job, your house, your spouse, your dating life? Where are you not feeling happy or fulfilled? Because I don't want you to feel some kind of way about that. So I don't want you to get into any sort of anxious or depression or spiral about it. But just look at it as data. Just switch into that logical brain for a second and going, if I move to a new town, move to a new city where nobody knew my name, how would I like to represent myself? And start writing that down. And if you're a movie person, there's this movie called The New Guy. It's a comedy, and the plot line takes that twist. He's this sort of nerdy, bullied musical kid, and something happens to him at school. I don't want to spoil it for you, but he needs to take some time off and he switches schools. And during that time off, he really set that goal and intention. I'm going to show up in a different way. And so he does that. And you can do that too. You don't have to move to a new town or school or job if you don't want to. At any point in time, you could start to reinvent yourself little by little by little. Start with your thoughts, start with your outer wardrobe. You can start with your food. Maybe it's getting better food ingredients, right? At any point in time, you can reinvent yourself. But where do you want to do it? And why do you want to do it? All right. So, this is another thing you want to be careful with. You don't want to fall into the trap of, I need/want to reinvent myself because other people might like me better. Nope. Do it for you. Because otherwise, if you're people pleasing, you're doing it to fit in, to belong, to survive, then you're not actually being true to you. You're still putting on a show. And you don't want to fake it till you make it. I actually don't love that advice, fake it till you make it, because of a lot of the faking isn't true to you. Now, if you're stepping into this, but you're not 100% confident, yeah, then that's where fake it till you make it can work. But if you are just being fake it, you are you are leaning into that fake part as not being true to you, and you're just doing it to elevate yourself or try to get in good with people, then that is eventually gonna crumble because you will be found out, right? You're not gonna be able to hide your real self for very long. So you want to be you, the version of you that brings you the most joy. And you are the one that gets to determine what that is. And our brains will try to trick us and tell us that if we change, we're going to lose everybody in our lives. And sometimes that needs to happen because the people that you have in your life may be toxic, or they don't have your best interests at heart, or they have conditional love for you, which means they only love and respect you if XYZ happens. So these people don't have your back. And our brain likes to tell us if you lose them, you will be alone forever and then you will die. But that is not true. There is a tribe out there for everyone. And how does that saying go? There's a lid for every pot, right? There is someone out there, more than someone. There are groups, there are people that are into the same things that you are, that love the same things that you do, that are passionate about the same topics, that show up the way that you do, your true self. And it's just a matter of connecting and being brave and willing to put yourself out there and reinvent yourself in a way that's true to you. And those people, you will find them or you will attract them. Even better. Don't chase, attract. But you will not die if you reinvent yourself. And right now, I bet you that there's at least one old identity hanging around in your brain that isn't serving you, and it's time to let go of. That could be something you do. Like, I think in the last episode or two, I talked about how I really don't like to run, but that's kind of a story that I sort of tell myself. I'm not a runner. At any point in time, I could let that go and take up running. Last year, I actually retired my medical license. That was really scary. But the truth is, I hadn't used it. I hadn't been a practicing physician for a few years. I was just hanging on to that identity because of what if I need it? What if I want to step into it? And I didn't even step back into it in COVID. So if like COVID wasn't enough to get me to step back into the medical field, then nothing is going to do it, right? I was done with it. So I needed to let that identity go so that I can embrace something new. Nature abhors a vacuum. So let go of what you don't need so that you can create what you actually want and desire instead. A joyful reinvention. It's all in your hands, right at your fingertips, and it's completely doable. And I know you can, my friends. All right, I am cheering you on, and I would love to hear about all of your joyful reinventions. So let me know in the comments or join my email list, aprildarley.com. I'll send you a weekly email, and I would love to hear from you. Until next week, my friends, goodbye.